Welcome back. It's time to do the repotting. So I've got this nice terracotta pot here for the coriantha, and the gymnocalycium's going back in its original pot. Also got some animal pellet fertilizer. And this doesn't do any harm to add some of this even during the winter time. It's very slow releasing. First I'm going to put in some pumice. This is pumice rock here for drainage in the bottom of my pot. Also have some bores in the bottom too, so the soil doesn't fall out. Okay. Let's grab it. There it is. It's been drying for a few hours now. And it's going to be repotted. Here's my mix. Let's take a closer look at that. You can see in here. It's akadama, pumice. There's a little calcareous lime. I put it in there. It's magnesium and those minerals. And then you have the activated charcoal. Okay, here we go. Mix in first. And then next, I'm going to add some slow release insecticide because here in Japan we're trying to avoid, well actually these are already, if these are present in any of your potted plants, they'll be in there now because they're laid in the summertime, but it's like a grub from a beetle. They're also invasive in the United States too, so you want to get a slow release insecticide because the beetles are a shiny metallic green about this size, and they ravage crops, so they're real pest. The beetles actually eat green matter, leaves and all of that, and they lay eggs, and their favorite food is of course roots. Yeah, so this is a slow release, but I'm going to put this in to avoid moths, caterpillars, and in the case that the roots might have mealybug, this will control them. So in goes some of that. I never measure it, I just put in what I think. I'm working out on my table today. Actually got my table back. I always lose it to the Stapelias because they like to sit up here. Here we go. This is a new pot. After this, I'm not going to water it for a couple of weeks, and the first initial watering will be a spritz. It's November, and do you have any idea what the temperature is like today on the balcony here? It's 30 degrees. It's about 85 Fahrenheit. It's hot, isn't it? So winters are like that here. But in the evening it can get really cold. Really cold. When it gets to about January, temperatures will plummet down in the below zero during the night. It means that those frosts come. Nearly forgot to put this in. Just roughly going to grab a small handful of the pellets. Actually, I should have put it down further down in the mix. Wasn't thinking. I can still do it. It's fine. It's usually better if you put it a little deeper in the pot. Encourage the roots to grow down. Let you know as you're talking and doing stuff you forget. It's always something I forget. Okay. Continue along. Yeah. Daytime temperatures are quite hot. Actually, the cacti like this, and they still take up water. Especially the smaller pots, I need to water them every couple of weeks because they dry right out and the plants get too desiccated. But you know, there's a lot of people say or recommend that you should let them go bone dry. It encourages flowering, but you run the risk of losing the whole root system, and you've got to be really careful when you introduce water in the springtime. Give it a quick tap here, make sure the mix is down. It looks good. Happy with that. I don't know if you can see in there or not. Let's see. There we go. So I'll pot it up nicely and put the tag back in. Something I usually don't do. I never tag my plants, and I should write the date of when I repotted it, but I always go by eye and stuff like that. Alright, so that was just a couple of hours after spraying it with hydrogen peroxide. Don't worry about those root hairs, they won't rot. They've had that hydrogen peroxide, it just cleans the roots perfectly. Okay, next. Okay, this is the one I'm worried about. You can see there. I sprayed it twice with hydrogen peroxide. Pretty confident that it's going to make a good comeback. I'm colorblind, by the way, so I can't distinguish browns, oranges and yellows too well, so I gotta ask everybody else, is this brown? You know, I'm worried about it. Is it brown? What color is it? And once they tell me that they just see a yellowy, orangey color, then I know that it's fine. Gymnocalycium, by the way, is something that you've got to be a little bit more careful with watering. They tend to do much better on the dry side. During the hottest times of the year, you can give them a good watering, and make sure that you give them two waters. One is to initially is to like wet it, and then you got to wait till the soil absorbs all that moisture, then you give it another one. You should let it dry right out the next time you water. And in the winter time, because my conditions are completely different, I do keep watering my gyms. If you check out them growing in habitat, you'll notice that mosses and they grow in lichens. That gives you an indication of that it is quite moist during the growing season, and of course in their natural habitat it is very dry during the winter, but not long. It's not a long dry period. It's about a couple of months the most before the next rains come. And they're always sporadic, you know, it doesn't keep raining. They have a chance to dry out in between rains. Maybe a lot of people don't recommend that you put fertilizer in, but this is perfectly safe. Animal dung doesn't harm the cactus one bit. It's very natural, so it's going to be beneficial for the soil. Okay. Gonna add a little bit of this insecticide. Wish I didn't have to use it, but I tell you what, when you get an infestation of something, it's a big setback. Hopefully it's going to be happy and grow well. Is this the best time of the year to be doing repotting? Well, it is fine here. Probably not in places where you live, where you have a humid, wet winter. Sorry, but not to do any repotting then. You always know if a cactus is in trouble. The epidermis gets all shrivelly, and yet the soil is still quite wet. And then you look at your other pots, and they're already on their way to drying up, the soil. And it stays moist. And it's shriveling, you know, there's a root system problem. If anyone wants to know what kind of soil I'm using this, but it's just in Japan. All purpose for cacti and succulents. Next, very well draining, very porous. Even if you water it during a nice cool overcast day, it'll still dry up. So if you're kind of scared that your cacti might get root rot, you're better to go with the extra well draining, but you still got to have a certain amount of organic in there. That's why I put the animal dung fertilizer. I put that in to substitute for the lack of organic in it, because they do need it. They can't just grow on nothing. Here we are. See, its stem's still poking up a little bit. I'll give it a top dressing. Yeah. What should I do? I'll have to pot it down a little bit deeper. Okay. That's no problem. One more time. Wasn't deep enough. That's sometimes happens. As I said before, I got a new video coming up, and it's all about climate, how it affects cacti, and also water. It'll be a very helpful video for a lot of you. I take into perspective all the other things, like everybody else's climates. I'm gonna answer those questions too. Should be a very helpful video. And also got stuff to read, so I'll be reading some information about what people think about correct watering and when to water and how and all of that. And then I'll, right at the end of the video, I'm going to give my words or my thoughts. Okay, now we're going to put this up the right way. And once again, just going to leave this in the pot for a couple of weeks, because it is the autumn season. I'm just going to leave it alone, and then I'll give it a spritz after a couple of weeks. Okay, that looks better. I don't know, every time I repot Gymnocalycium, once you're finished, you take a look at it and you can see the neck, and it's just not down far enough. Then you got to pull it out and do it again. Okay, that's good. That's the right depth. I'll let you have a look. Here we are. It's all nice and potted up there. Alright, so this concludes today's video. So we got to see how I treat cacti that I buy, and how I check the root system and what I do to treat the roots, and then we followed up with the repotting. So thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe so that my new videos, when they come out, it'll let you know when they do. And thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this. And if you have any questions, please send me a message. I'll be happy to answer it. And have a good day. See you next time. Bye.